It's all about strategy in these early moments. Joni Geldenhuys is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run and get everything just right.
It's a delicate balance between taking it easy and pushing hard. Let's see how Joni Geldenhuys handles it.
Taihan van Ruyen is on their out lap. That's the out lap done for Taihan van Ruyen. They'll now look to focus on their first flying lap. You can feel the tension building. Hernes Besson is out on track and getting ready to push for their qualifying time. Jeevan Davis is on their first flying lap. The adrenaline is pumping. Peter Geldenhuys is on their out lap, warming up the tires and getting ready to put in a fast lap time. There are just over 5 minutes left in this qualification session. This is where the mental game comes into play. Peter Geldenhuys is taking their time to prepare for their qualifying run.
This is the moment they've been preparing for. Let's see if they can execute.
Hernes Besson is up -0.1.
It's amazing what a little bit of adrenaline and a lot of horsepower can do. Hernes Besson is just showing us all what they're made of.
The pressure is on in this qualifying session, but Willem Immelman is rising to the occasion.
Let's see if they can put a good marker down.
Willem Immelman crosses the start-finish line at the end of their outline. Ethan Gishen is not as quick as they were hoping for. Annie, any thoughts on what they need to do? Jacobus Besson looks to be off the pace. Annie, what do you think they need to do to improve? Danny van Ruyen is not as quick as they were hoping for. Annie, any thoughts on what they need to do? Danny Van Ruyen looks to be off the pace. Annie, what do you think they need to do to improve? Danny Van Ruyen will be happy having put themselves into first in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
JP Brand is not as quick as they were hoping for. Annie, any thoughts on what they need to do?
Every driver needs something different, Peter. Some drivers excel when they push harder, while other drivers...
JP Brand has some work to do as that 104.226 is only good enough for 7th. Richard Reshka looks to be off the pace. Annie, what do you think they need to do to improve?
Well, Peter, they'll need to find those extra tenths of a second by pushing just a little bit harder on the braking and carrying more speed through the corners.
Richard Reshka will be happy having put themselves into third in this qualifying session.
It may be difficult for them to improve further on that. Sometimes trying too hard makes you slower. They need to drive smooth and smart.
Danny Van Ruyen is not as quick as they were hoping for. Annie, any thoughts on what they need to do? Danny Van Ruyen will be happy having put themselves into second in this qualifying session.
Every fraction of a second counts. I'm sure they can find a little extra in there.
Eden Gishin has put in a great effort. Eden Gishin has some work to do as that 107.848 is only good enough for 10th. And there goes Danny Van Ruyen, currently in position 2. They've shown great skill and consistency so far, but with a few minutes left, there's still time to improve their result.
Couldn't agree more, Peter. Danny Van Ruyen has positioned themselves impressively in second. Now, they need to build on this foundation and strive for an even better race result.
A strong showing from Eden Gishin as they currently sit in 10th. With the session drawing to a close, they'll need to dig deep and find that extra burst of speed to improve. Currently in 7th, Joni Geldenhuys has displayed promising speed during the qualifying session. The real test lies in whether they can convert this performance into a higher grid position. Incredible drive by Danny Van Ruyen so far, earning them second. The competition is fierce, however, and they will need to quickly find more time to get even closer to the sharp end of the grid.
You hit the nail on the head, Peter. Danny Van Ruyen's current position of second is a testament to their skill and determination.
Danny Van Ruyen will be happy having put themselves into second in this qualifying session. It's been a struggle for Jacobus Bisson in qualifying. As of now, they find themselves in 13th position, which is well below their expectations. However, motorsport is unpredictable, and there's still an opportunity for them to shine and move up the grid. It's an impressive showing by Danny Van Ruyen, currently in second. They've showcased their talent, but will need to find those crucial extra tenths to climb higher. Danny Van Ruyen will be happy having put themselves into second in this qualifying session. You've joined us on a breezy day here at ALDO SCIBANTE race circuit, as we're getting ready to kick things off. On the second grid slot we have Danny Van Ruyen.
Starting from here, Danny Van Ruyen may already have expectations of a podium finish.
Richard Reshka is lining up third. Starting just behind the front runners in fourth place is the determined driver, JP Brand.
And like many others, they are starting the race on the softs tire compound.
Starting from the fifth position on the grid, we have Taihan Van Ruyen.
It's like they're on the outside looking in, close enough to see the front without actually being there.
Green flag, green flag.
These opening moments can make or break a driver's race. Strategy and skill are key to navigating this intense start.
Is there a better sight than a field of elite racing drivers battling for position? Settling into a rhythm is going to be crucial here.
With this motley bunch of drivers, there is bound to be drama. I just hope we don't miss it.
Every lap is an opportunity for Taihan Van Ruyen to learn just a little bit more to shave a few tenths or hundredths off their times.
The drivers are walking a fine line during the first lap melee as everyone tries to establish themselves. It's easy for inexperienced racers to blow it in T1.
It's been a solid race so far for Joni Geldenhuis. They're holding their position and keeping a steady pace.
Consistency is key in racing. Joni Geldenhuis just needs to keep doing what they're doing and wait for opportunities to present themselves.
The track conditions are looking good here today. The drivers will be able to push the cars to the limit, and it's going to make for some exciting racing. Look at that, Peter Geldenhuis is hot on the tail of Rian Barkhuizen.
The gap is 0.3 seconds now. Peter Geldenhuis is going to have to work a bit harder to close that gap with Rian Barkhuizen.
Every move counts now as Jamie Nichols works to reel in Peter Geldenhuis and overtake for P9.
I would not be surprised if they get this pass completed soon.
Jacobus Besson wants to find a way round Warren Dahl. The intensity is off the charts as Willem Immelman hounds Jeevan Davis, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit. While JP Brand is not under immediate threat from Peter Geldenhuis, they still need to stay focused and avoid any errors. Any slip-up could cost them their position. Look at this, Annie, what a shame for JP Brand. They've lost P8 to Peter Geldenhuis, and that's got to hurt. Jeevan Davis has just dropped the ball. Willem Immelman didn't waste any time taking advantage of that. Superb driving from Jeevan Davis, who with that, hold that thought. Hold the phone. Looks like that's a mistake from Dould Lambert. This could be costly. Looks like Richard Reshka is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control.
It's a battle of wills out there, each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
This battle between Eden Gishen and Ulrich Kleinhans is so intense, you could cut the tension with a knife, or should I say, with a front wing.
This is a thrilling battle as Ernest Besson edges closer to Willem Immelman in their fight for P16. can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed.
Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Wayne Midden should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to Richard Reschke.
Ethan Gishen is looking for an opportunity to get round Ulrich Kleinhans. This is where the skill and experience of the drivers really come into play. Jacobus Bisson will need to stay focused and keep pushing, even when the gap seems insurmountable. It's not over until the checkered flag drops.
That's right. Jacobus Bisson in 12th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Warren Dodd is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
Richard Reschke is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. That driver is really pushing the limits. They're riding the curves and pushing the car to its limits.
Joni Geldenhuys has the pedal to the metal chasing Richard Reschke. That won't be ideal for Jacobus Bisson. The action is non-stop as Joni Geldenhuys shadows Richard Reschke through every twist and turn, determined to claim fourth.
As a former driver, I can tell you there's nothing quite like the adrenaline rush when you're this close to your rival, ready to make your move.
Things are heating up as Wayne Midden tries to close the gap to Joni. Hold that thought. Hold the phone. Looks like that's a mistake from Dould Lambert. This could be costly. This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Ernest Bisson is chasing Willem Immelman in P15. A great moment for Ernest Bisson, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. Anyone who says that Simspeed Motorsports is not the best racing club on the planet is clearly insane. The quality of driving we're seeing out there on the track is absolutely phenomenal.
I couldn't agree more. It's like these drivers were born to race. They're weaving in and out of traffic, taking corners at unbelievable speeds, and making it all look effortless. It's clear that they've put in the time and effort to hone their skills.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as JP Brand in 10th chases after Warren Dodd. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. JP Brand needs to find a way to close the gap. The race is really heating up. Joni Geldenhuys is hunting down Wayne Midden with everything they've got. Even though Warren Dodd is a fair way behind Ethan Gishen, they can't afford to let their guard down. Ethan Gishen is still vulnerable to mistakes. JP Brand is running 10th. They're trying to catch Warren Dodd.
JP Brand is looking to close the 0.3 second gap and make a pass.
The pressure is on for Ernest Bisson as they try to catch up to Willem Immelman. Great driving from Ernest Bisson, who has just gained a place and moved up to 13th. It's a thrilling pursuit as Willem Immelman is right behind Ernest Bisson, keeping the pressure on for 13th place. A brilliant maneuver from Willem Immelman, who has just moved up the field. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
Things are getting intense for Jamie Nichols. They're sandwiched between Leon Barkhuizen and Jacobus Besson, navigating this high-speed battleground. The gap to the car ahead is 0.2 seconds, while the car behind is only 0.2 seconds away. This is what it's all about, folks. Leon Barkhuizen is in hot pursuit of Jamie Nichols, who's just trying to stay ahead. Oh, this is getting intense. JP Brand is just a few car lengths behind Warren Dodd. Ernest Besson is holding 14th, but Jacobus Besson is right on their tail. The battle for 14 is heating up as Jacobus Besson tries to catch Ernest Besson in P14.
Jacobus Besson needs to focus if they want to make a move and pass Ernest Besson.
In racing, anything can, and usually does, happen, especially in such an epic showdown.
If Jamie Nichols pushes too hard, they might find themselves exploring the scenic route, and nobody's got time for sightseeing during a race.
The pursuit is on. Leon Barkhuizen is closing the gap on Jamie Nichols, determined to claim P16. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Warren Dodd is breathing down the neck of Eden Gishen, not giving them any room to relax. JP Brand wants to get into Warren Dodd's slipstream. This is where the race gets really interesting. Peter Geldenhuys is closing in on JP Brand. Ernest Besson is giving it their all as they chase down Willem Immelman in P13.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Ernest Besson needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
Jacobus Besson is on a mission, chasing Jamie Nichols, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
With just 0.3 seconds between them, Jacobus Besson will need to close the gap to have hopes of a pass.
The delta between Eden Gishen in 8th and Ulrich Kleinhans remains over a second, but Eden Gishen is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 12 minutes left in this session to make that happen.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Eden Gishen in 8th determined to catch up. But we know Ulrich Kleinhans isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Eden Gishen is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
Things are heating up as Jamie Nichols closes in on Ernest Besson. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
Should things go south between Jamie Nichols and Ernest Besson, we might witness a high-speed game of bumper cars, but trust me, it's way less fun with real race cars.
Oh, Annie Ernest Besson has seen their lead over Jamie Nichols shrink to 0.1 seconds. This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit.
It's going to be a close one. Jamie Nichols will have to push hard to create an opportunity.
It's looking good for Jamie Nichols, who has gained places and put some distance between themselves and Ernest Besson.
Absolutely. Jamie Nichols is showing great pace and determination.
Breaking alert. I don't think that's the fastest way around ALDO SCIBANTE race circuit. Eden Gishen could be looking for a way up the inside of Ulrich Kleinhans. Eden Gishin is pushing hard and has reduced the gap to Ulrich Kleinhans to 0.1 seconds. Hard break for Eden Gishin, as they slip down the field. Eden Gishin is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. It's all about finding the perfect opportunity. Eden Gishin needs to stay patient and wait for JP Brand to make a mistake.
3 cars in perfect formation, creating a moving train on the circuit. They're using the slipstream to gain an advantage, but that's not always enough.
Absolutely, Peter. The slipstream plays a crucial role in these battles. The drivers are using every trick in the book to gain an advantage while constantly evaluating when to make their move.
It looks like Duald Lambert has found another gear in the last sector of the race. And that, folks, is how it's done. A solid performance and great win from Duald Lambert.
What a display of skill and precision.
Impressive second-place finish for Danny Van Ruyen.
Intense race, but Danny Van Ruyen held their nerve and earned a great second place.
What a race from Taihan Van Ruyen, showing their skill and determination for a great third-place finish.
What a drive, well-deserved spot on the podium with that performance.
Richard Reschke, Wayne Midden, Joni Geldenhuys, and Ulrich Kleinhans claim 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Taking 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th is JP Brand, Eden Gishin, Peter Geldenhuys, and Jeevan Davis. Willem Immelman, Rian Barkhuizen, Jamie Nichols, and Hernes Besson end in 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. 16th and 17th is Jacobus Besson and Warren Dodd. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at ALDO SCIBANTE race circuit, as we're getting ready to kick things off. It's Ethan Gishen, sitting comfortably in second.
Ethan Gishen will be expecting to bring home solid points.
Lining up in third is JP Brand. Taking off from the fourth grid slot is the skilled driver, Ulrich Kleinhans. As the drivers prepare to take off, Joni Geldenhuys sits in fifth place on the starting grid. Wayne Midden is sixth. The lights go out, and we are off to a flying start.
Maintaining composure is essential in this high-stakes environment. The ability to react and adapt will be the key to success.
There's some intense battling throughout the field as everyone is feeling out the drivers around them. It's brilliant to see such a full grid here today.
Every corner, every lap, and every race is a chance for these drivers to hone their abilities and improve their skills.
As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at Simspeed Motorsports for making this all possible. Heroes one and all.
The drivers will be jostling for the best position, Peter. Some of them may not make it to the second lap in one piece.
Look at that. Taihan van Ruyen is hot on the tail of Wayne Midden.
This is where every inch counts. Taihan van Ruyen is pushing hard to close the gap on Wayne Midden. Absolutely, precision and control are key here. Knowing when to push and when to hold back can be the difference between winning and losing.
He can't hold on. Ulrich Kleinhans is losing time to Duald Lambert. You know, Annie, it's been a relatively quiet race so far.
That's right, Peter. The drivers seem to be pacing themselves and waiting for the right moment to make their move. It's like watching a slow dance.
Warren Dodd seems to be putting the pressure on Duald Lambert.
I might have said this before, but dog, bone, you know the rest.
Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. That car is really unsettled as they push for every last bit of speed. Excellent work from Taihan van Ruyen, who has managed to increase their lead over JP Brand. They seem to have found their rhythm and they are grooving to it. Things are heating up as JP Brand tries to close the gap to Danny van Ruyen. This is getting exciting. Richard Reshka is looking for any gap that might open up the position. Braking development. Looks like that's a mistake from JP Brand. This could be costly. It seems like Ulrich Kleinhans is struggling. Their last lap time was a bit off the pace of Richard Reshka. Oh dear, Ulrich Kleinhans has dropped down to 9.
Sucks to be them, Peter.
Rising to the occasion and claiming victory would help to cement this driver's legendary status.
At this rate, Duald Lambert and Jamie Nichols are so close, they could share a cup of tea and a biscuit.
Big gains for Duald Lambert as they move up the field, leaving Jamie Nichols behind.
Yes, but Duald Lambert can't rest on their laurels. They have to keep pushing to consolidate their position.
Well, it looks like we have a bit of a traffic jam on the track.
It's like rush hour out there. I mean, I know we're in a race, but can't we all just get along?
You can wish all you want, but I don't think that's how racing works, Annie. These drivers are here to win, and they'll do whatever it takes to get ahead.
I guess you're right, but wouldn't it be great if they all just stopped for high fives and fist bumps?
This is a thrilling battle as Taihan Van Ruyen edges closer to Danny Van Ruyen in their fight for P3. Looks like JP Brand is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curves aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control. Sometimes you have to take risks to win, but pushing the car too hard can be a costly mistake. JP Brand needs to be careful not to overdo it.
The adrenaline is pumping as Duald Lambert gets within striking distance of Richard Reshka in their race for 8th.
With the way Duald Lambert is stalking Richard Reshka, you'd think they're trying to figure out what they had for breakfast this morning.
It's a close race between Warren Dodd and Jeevan Davis in 12th. This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Jacobus Besson is chasing Willem Immelman in P14.
The gap between them is just over 0.3 seconds. Can Jacobus Besson close that gap and get back in range? I can't see it happening at this point.
Oh, this is getting intense. Joni Geldenhuys is just a few car lengths behind Danny Van Ruyen.
The gap between them is now just over 0.4 seconds.
The race is really heating up. JP Brand is hunting down Taihan Van Ruyen with everything they've got.
You can see that car bouncing around as they ride the curves. It's a risky move that could end in disaster.
The battle for 6 is heating up as Wayne Midden tries to catch Peter Geldenhuys in P6. It looks like Richard Reshka is pushing hard to catch up to Duald Lambert. That's not a small gap, but Richard Reshka has what it takes to challenge for the position.
Absolutely. Richard Reshka in 9th will need to be patient and carefully work to reduce that gap without overdriving it, as they can't afford to take unnecessary risks and risk an off or damaging their car. Let's see if they have what it takes to get back into the game here.
The pressure is on for Warren Dodd as they try to catch up to Jeevan Davis.
The gap between them is just over 0.3 seconds, which can feel like miles if you're trailing and not catching up.
Impressive stuff from JP Brand, who has managed to pull away from Peter Geldenhuys, leaving them in choking in their exhaust fumes.
Yes, it's clear that JP Brand is in control out there. They're making it very difficult for Peter Geldenhuys to catch up.
Peter Geldenhuys is running 6th. They're trying to catch JP Brand. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce. The pursuit is on. Jamie Nichols is closing the gap on Ulrich Kleinhaus, determined to claim P10. Wow, Jeevan Davis is really pushing hard to catch up to Willem Immelman. There's blood in the water for 13th place.
You know what they say, keep your friends close, and your racing rivals even closer. Looks like Jeevan Davis is taking that advice to heart today.
Joni Geldenhuys is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play. It's a game of strategy now as Joni Geldenhuys hunts down Tijhan van Rooyen. Yes, it's all about choosing the right moments to push and when to conserve energy, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike.
The action is heating up here as JP Brand is in 5th, defending from Dewald Lambert, who is only 0.3 seconds away.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Dewald Lambert to make up that gap, especially with JP Brand defending so well.
Peter Geldenhuys is on a mission, chasing JP Brand, who's desperately trying to stay ahead.
It's a fine line between pushing the car to its limits and losing control. Peter Geldenhuys is
braking development. Looks like that's a mistake from JP Brand. This could be costly. Look at that. Jamie Nichols is hot on the tail of Ulrich Kleinhans.
The racing is getting tight between Jamie Nichols and Ulrich Kleinhans as they battle for P10. No doubt, both drivers know that one mistake could cost them the position. It's a test of nerves as much as skill.
Fantastic move from Jamie Nichols, who has just gained a position.
You can't argue with results like that. Jamie Nichols is really making their mark on this race.
Superb driving from Jamie Nichols, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race.
That's what we like to see. Jamie Nichols is really showing their class today.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Tijhan van Rooyen trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Ethan Gishen. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. Things braking development. Looks like that's a mistake from JP Brand. This could be costly. Looks like Richard Reschke is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control. Don't forget the role of aerodynamics. Richard Reschke should use slipstreaming to their advantage and close the gap to JP Brand.
Commanding performance from Ethan Gishen, who has increased their lead over Tijhan van Rooyen, putting them firmly in their rear-view mirrors. The drivers have been working hard to come up with the perfect race strategy. They've been looking at the weather, the track conditions and the performance of their cars.
Now it's time to put that strategy into action and see if it pays off.
This is a thrilling battle as Jacobus Basson edges closer to Jeevan Davis in their fight for P13. This is going to be a nail-biter. Richard Reschke is defending for their life, but Wayne Midden is right there doing everything they can to force a mistake. We got a close battle as Wayne Midden closes in on Richard Reschke. The gap between Jamie Nichols and Ulrich Kleinhans is razor thin as they vie for 7th in this nail-biting contest. The skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Wayne Midden is chasing Richard Reschke in P4.
That driver is really pushing the limits. They're riding the curbs and pushing the car to its limits. It's an intense battle for position as Jamie Nichols tries to outmaneuver Ulrich Kleinhans.
This is edge of your seat racing.
And it's not just about skill and talent. It's about who has the nerves of steel to handle the pressure and make the right decisions at the right time.
It's a game of inches now as Taihan Van Rooyen tails Jamie Nichols closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake.
It's a battle of nerves now. Taihan Van Rooyen and Jamie Nichols are both pushing hard, but need to avoid mistakes that might cost them time or positions.
Hold on to your hats, folks. Jamie Nichols is right on the heels of Taihan Van Rooyen, and we're in for a wild ride. Every move counts now as Ulrich Kleinhans works to reel in Joni Geldenhuys and overtake for P6.
Ulrich Kleinhans is looking to close the 0.4 second gap and make a pass.
Taihan Van Rooyen is placed 8th at the moment. They are hoping to keep their distance ahead of Jamie Nichols, who is 0.4 seconds behind.
Surely they've got enough in the tank to pull away. Gonna be interesting to watch this battle unfold.
This is not looking good for Ulrich Kleinhans. They've just lost 7th to Taihan Van Rooyen and their strategy seems to be failing them.
That's some bad luck for Ulrich Kleinhans. They just couldn't hold on to it, but they can always regroup and get on the attack.
Breaking development. Looks like that's a mistake from JP Brand. This could be costly. On the final lap now, and Danny Van Rooyen looks like they might just wrap up this win. The leader has done it. What an incredible performance from Danny Van Rooyen, who is simply untouchable today. This is a race that will go down in the history books.
That was a true masterclass in driving from Danny Van Rooyen. You could see them making split-second decisions with total confidence, and it really paid off. What a performance.
What a drive from Dewald Lambert, securing a great second-place finish. Well done to JP Brand for securing 3rd place on the podium.
Great job bringing it home.
In 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, it's Richard Reschke, Wayne Midden, Taihan Van Rooyen, and Jamie Nichols. Followed by Eden Gishen, Ulrich Kleinhans, Warren Dodd, and Willem Immelman in 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Jacobus Besson, Jeevan Davis, Peter Geldenhuys, and Joni Geldenhuys take 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Rian Barkhuizen brings home 16th.